Good morning from the IEC Results Centre here in Cape Town in the Western Cape, where the DA still leads the race for votes. The party has so far secured 219 seats in the province, the ANC second with 92 seats at this stage. 7 other political parties have now also won seats in this province. Now, political analyst Professor Fani Klute is here with me. Prof, what is your impression of the results so far?
I think it's becoming clear that the Democratic Alliance has been making inroads into the ANC support base, and that the smaller parties are not really as important as they were anticipated to be, with 1 or 2 exceptions.
It appears that for the first time the DA might have been successful to penetrate traditional ANC strongholds. Now, our reporter Nomawethu Solwandle is in Khayelitsha this morning. Nomawethu, good morning to you. Are votes in for Khayelitsha?
Well, a very good morning to you, Vanessa. Indeed, we are coming to you from the OR Tambo Hall here in Khayelitsha. As we understand it, counting is still taking place at this voting station. But like the Prof said, it would seem that the DA has made quite a number of inroads in traditional ANC strongholds. You'll remember in areas such as Khayelitsha, Gugulethu and Nyanga. That's where the Seskona People's Movement was very strong, and they actually endorsed the ANC. But just before the elections, there was a big surprise, and one of the leaders, Loyiso Nkotla, actually defected to the Democratic Alliance. He joins me now just to tell us more about this move. Thank you so much for joining us, Loyiso. Just tell us more. What is the general consensus on the ground? How are people feeling about service delivery in these areas?
Now, of course, that amongst other reasons why we've been convinced to move to the Democratic Alliance as a community activist and a community at large, it's because that we've engaged with them to say that because of our going to the election, we know that every political party will want to come and campaign and canvass kind of support for their own political parties. But we have said, what is it in for our own people on the table? Or what is it? Because we believe that the vote of our people are not free. Anyone that wants the vote, it's not just a matter of swiping the vote with any political party. It's a matter of investment. It's a matter of changing the life of our own people. If you look at what we've done recently, just before election, we took the mayor to people of Mfuleni, and we advised the mayor that, Mayor, people, they don't understand what is a DA manifesto or ANC manifesto. What is that concern them? It's about electricity, it's about water, decent sanitation, job creation. That's what really concerns our own people.
Now, Loyiso, as the results keep coming in, it would seem that the DA has made those significant inroads in ANC strongholds. Just tell us more. What are people saying? You know, you've endorsed the ANC in these areas for a number of years. Now you've moved to the DA. What are people saying about this move?
No, look, we've been going out throughout the city, engaging and consulting our own membership, Seskona activists, ANC activists, community activists, and people at large. And that was shown this first day that we've endorsed the DA, that we have left with more than 500 community activists. On the 24th of July again, we have left with more than 2,800 people. And I think people were very clear. When we have had a meeting, public meeting in the open spaces where we've took the mayor to see right there what are the real living condition of our own people, and the mayor have acknowledged to say what we've been fighting for with the community activists. We understand it, and we will want to make sure that we deliver to our own people. And that's one to cite one example of people of Mfuleni.
So we are just going to have to cut it very short there and hand back to studio. Well, Vanessa, like you heard there from Loyiso Nkotla, a former ANC ambassador, saying that it's about the bread and butter issues. It's back to you in the studio, Vanessa.
Thank you very much, Nomawethu Solwandle, our reporter there in Khayelitsha. Prof, just a very quick question from you. We've seen the impact or the assumed impact of community-based organizations such as the Seskona People's Rights Movement seemingly making a difference when it comes down to the ground in areas traditionally an ANC stronghold.
Yes, although what we've been seeing in some of the other locations where the voting had taken place is that, for example, no independents so far have been elected to any ward. Secondly, the impact of these smaller parties are really restricted to a number of smaller municipalities where they are concentrated and where they had an opportunity to build support around specific leaders, local leaders in those communities. So the role generally of the smaller parties have been minimized in these elections.
Thank you very much, Prof. Just summing up the role of smaller parties. Now, our reporter, Abra Barbier, is here on the IEC floor. Quite a number of political parties coming in here as the end of vote counting creeps up on us. Abra, you're down on the floor. What's happening at the moment?
Vanessa, thank you so much. Yes, the IEC here in the Western Cape just completed its press conference for the morning, giving us a new update. And with nearly 3/4 of the votes declared in this area, we are now going around speaking to parties just to get a feel of what the mood is like in their specific camps. With me right now, I have Mr. Andre Fudi, who's the mayoral candidate of the Freedom Front Plus. Meneer Fourie, dankie dat jy met ons praat. Sê vir my, hoe voel jy die FF Plus op die oomblik?
Kyk, met ons logistieke en finansiële beperkings as 'n kleiner party teenoor die twee groot partye is ons redelik gelukkig. Ons het provinsiaal reeds ons stemtotaal verdriedubbel van die laaste verkiesing en in die metro het ons op hierdie stadium reeds dieselfde aantal stemme as wat ons verlede keer gekry het. So met die stemme wat uitstaande is, verwag ons nog 'n verbetering op ons situasie.
So die mood is nog baie positief in jou kamp.
Kyk, ons bly positief want ons het 'n standpunt. Ons is nie gelukkig met die DA se taktiek om vir mense te sê hulle morsel stem op kleine partye wat alleen is nie. Ons is ook nie gelukkig met die hier in die metro wat ek self gistermiddag 'n boodskap gekry het op my SMS om vir my te sê die ANC en die DA loop kop aan kop, mense moet gaan stem. Dis absolute bangmaak taktiek. En ek dink baie van die mense wat eintlik in hulle harte vir die VF+ stem vir die DA om sogenaamd die ANC uit te hou.
Meneer Fourie, dankie vir jou tyd.
Baie dankie hoor.
I'm now speaking to Tlabanelo Di Holo of the EFF here in the Western Cape. Hi, thank you so much for joining us. First time that this party is contesting a local government election. What is the mood in the EFF in the Western Cape right now?
Well, I can speak for the Cape Metro. Now, when we look at the scoreboard there, obviously we are not happy as the Cape Metro because we know for a fact that our people at home are not happy. But we are very pleased with the effort that our party agents, our volunteers and activists on the ground has put into this, which has been probably one of the longest campaigns since 1994. And so we are saying that we have seen where our weaknesses are, our strengths, but also we have seen that we have consolidated our base. And so after all the elections, the results are in, we are going to go back and then we are going to see where from here, and then obviously speak to the national leadership, the provincial leadership for some guidance and also see what we can do to better improve. But we are very pleased. In some VDs we have seen where we have previously had 0%, now we are sitting on 2.2%, so that means our people are responding very well to the EFF.
Sure. Mr. Holo, thank you so much for your time today. Vanessa, well, there you have it. Parties still remain unbeat. Some still need to speak with the national leadership about the weaknesses that they found in their party. But we'll be on the floor to keep you all updated about to look at how things pan out. Vanessa?
Thank you very much, Abra Barbier, speaking to political parties on the IEC floor here at the IEC Elections Results Centre in the Western Cape. Now, Prof, the last time I checked, 92% of the votes have been counted in Oudtshoorn, with 59% going to the DA. Was this an expected result?
No, it was not. In fact, that figure has now been increased. Counting has been completed there. And my latest figures are that the Democratic Alliance got 16 of the seats with 64% of the votes, while the African National Congress only got 8 seats with 31%. So it's a 2/3 majority for the Democratic Alliance, which is totally against the expected trend.
We've got a reporter in Oudtshoorn this morning, Mariska Botha is in Oudtshoorn. Good morning to you, Mariska. We see that for all intents and purposes, the DA has won the municipality. I see a sea of blue behind you. Are those part of the celebrations that we're seeing on screen right now, Mariska?
Yes, good morning to you, Vanessa. We're coming to you from the Democratic Alliance's offices in Oudtshoorn, and in this street certainly everything is blue. People are celebrating, cars are driving past, hooting, showing the thumbs up. and the people behind me singing. It's a DA thing. They're very happy they won, elated they won. Some people say they went through the night celebrating as the figures and numbers started coming in. But to talk to us a little bit more about that, I've got Colin Sylvester with me. He's of course the DA's mayoral candidate in the town of Oudtshoorn. Good morning to you, Colin. First of all, just give us briefly a sense of how it feels this morning to be the victors in Oudtshoorn.
Good morning, Mariska. It's absolutely wonderful knowing that we have at least taken back Oudtshoorn. We've not taken only Oudtshoorn back, but we are going to take Oudtshoorn back en route to recovery. It's wonderful to know that by now we've already won 10 of the 13 wards. We are making history. It will be the first time in the history of this town that we are aiming for 12 of the 13 wards, and it looks very positive for us to get to the 12 wards. Wonderful about this is we won't have to govern with a coalition, which is great. If I stand here, I must say that we have trusted God for not only for a victory, but we've trusted Him for a 99% victory in this town, and He's making it possible. We know it will be possible for us, and we have to give all our thanks to Him for doing this for us and giving us and granting us this victory, so that we can bring back transparency and good governance into Oudtshoorn.
Maybe just briefly, Oudtshoorn is a town in serious trouble. Of course, it is under administration, which will now come to an end with the constitution of a new council. People have been telling us that they're very disappointed at the way things went in Oudtshoorn. What are some of the things they will immediately see, or will they immediately see change in their town?
Mariska, taking office, we start working on a 100-day plan. And in the 100-day plan, we are going to incorporate the service delivery issues that has been hampering the town for the past 3 years. We need to clean up our open spaces. We need to work through and get rid of the backlog in refuse removal. We have a huge backlog in terms of infrastructure repairs. We have puddles that will cost us 44 million rand to repair, and we are going to work on that for now. We can't promise our taxpayers that everything will be done in a month or 2 or 3, because it's a long process. We have 300 million rand in debt to pay, and we have a debt with Eskom of nearly 50 million rand. So it will be a long recovery road.
There you heard it. That's Colin Sylvester, of course, the mayoral candidate for Oudtshoorn, saying there's a long road ahead, but he says the DA is ready to govern and they're ready to turn Oudtshoorn around. Back to you, Vanessa.
Thank you very much, Mariska. Now, one of the regions that we've also been covering here in the Western Cape is the West Coast. Our reporter Craig Murray has filed this report from Saldanha Bay.
We're in the beautiful town of Saldanha Bay, about 150 kilometers up the west coast from Cape Town, and we're fortunate enough to have the DA mayor for Saldanha Bay, Marius Kuhn. I know you only got to bed at 4:30. Thank you for joining us.
It's only a pleasure, Craig.
Just the results so far, it's not all in, but it's still trickling in, but most of the results are in. Just how have the results gone, if you can give us, and are you happy?
Oh, I'm delighted. I'm extremely delighted. We have got the mandate from the people for another 5 years. So DA won here with our job majority. So we're extremely delighted.
What is the situation at the moment? In 2011, you had 15 seats.
Yes.
The ANC had 8. What's the situation at the moment?
Well, we're still waiting for the final results to come in, but we're looking at this stage between 17 and 18 seats in council out of the 27.
What are some of the reasons, do you think, that the voters have given you the mandate to govern for the next 5 years?
I think I was just delighted with the way we improved. You know, we were 11 years on the ANC government, and we took over, and within this 5 years we did exceptionally well for providing basic services to the people. We ended up in countrywide, out of the 238 municipalities in country, we ended up number 1 when it came to refuse removal, number 1 when it came to sanitation, number 2 when it came to providing electricity to all our residents, and number 5 with water, and we ended up with a clean audit. So that's all about the basic, providing the best service delivery to the people they want.
What are some of the hurdles and things that need to improve over the next 5 years?
Well, I think the main emphasis need to be to focus on economic growth, especially for this region, and job creation. I think especially with the IDZ, the Industrial Development Zone, it's going to happen right here. We need to focus, get the people jobs. We have a massive unemployment rate still. We have poor communities, an influx of people, so therefore we have to provide jobs, keep the people happy and provide jobs.
Just finally as well, yesterday there was really the ANC, the DA voters. It was a carnival atmosphere in Saldanha Bay.
Indeed. You could see the joy on the people. I've never experienced that. It was such delightful. It was great. It was great just being among the people. I think they just enjoyed themselves thoroughly.
Maurice, thanks for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
That is the mayor of Saldanha Bay, Maurice Kuhn, and the DA who in 2011 won 15 seats, the ANC 8. They look like they've increased that to majority. The results are still trickling in, but it looks like they have been given a mandate to govern for the next 5 years. Craig Murray for SABC News in Saldanha Bay.
Thank you very much to our reporter there, reporting from Saldanha Bay, Craig Murray. Now, Prof, if I can just talk about Beaufort West. Beaufort West, one of the surprises definitely in this election as well. We've got the charismatic Truman Prince there from the ANC. Is it surprising that the DA seems to have made such huge inroads into Beaufort West?
Oh, it is. It seems as if the charisma of Mr. Truman was not so charismatic in this election, because it is quite clear at the moment that the DA will probably achieve an overall majority in Beaufort West, and that there again the ANC will be performing much worse than it was anticipated for them to perform.
Right, well, we have our reporter Bulelani Philip, who is in Beaufort West this morning. Bulelani, a very warm good morning to you. We've seen the numbers coming through. Is there a sense of disappointment on the ground from the ANC's point of view? Is there elation on behalf of the Democratic Alliance? What's happening in Beaufort West?
Good morning to you, Vanessa. Basically, we have not been able to get hold of the ANC. They've gone to ground. I suspect they're waiting for the final tally to come through. But on the other hand, the DA has actually been, gathering outside their offices here in Rastin community, where, the results as they come in, the crowd is actually building up. Excitement, cars going up and down the streets, hooting, and people actually, just celebrating as they anticipate that, they will be actually out-sitting the ANC in this municipality. Of course, the person that the DA has put forward as its mayoral candidate is Kos Maloye, who has actually been marshalling the troops for all the time. And Kos, is it time to celebrate for your party?
Yes, it's about time. It's been a long road, but we are there. We knew that Beaufort West is up for the taking, and we believe we did it.
And as for, you've just under 50%, do you foresee perhaps maybe a coalition government of sorts?
There is a possibility, yes.
And have you been talking to anybody?
At this stage, no.
All right. And just with regards to your first, projects that you want to undertake come, day one in office, what do you intend to do?
As I said before, we need to take Beaufort West forward, and we need to put Beaufort West on the map. We need to make Beaufort West once again the crown jewel of the town. We certainly have a few projects that we have in mind to do just that.
Plans for celebrations?
Yes, we do have a few plans. We're going to go back to the community tonight and just thank them for their votes, and that's what we will do.
All right, that was Kos Maloye, who looks set to be the incoming mayor of the Beaufort West municipality. Of course, this has largely been historically an ANC ground, but of course, the DA appears to have caused an upset. On that note, Vanessa, it's back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, reporter there, Bulelani Philip, in Beaufort West, where celebrations seem to be already taking place. Prof, now you've mentioned Oudtshoorn, not surprising, Beaufort West, a huge surprise. Just in terms of the Western Cape, most of vote counting completed now. Prof, just once again an overall view of these political parties, the major players, but then also the smaller parties and independents here across the province.
It is quite clear that the DA has consolidated its control over the Western Cape tremendously. The DA will probably at least get 65% of the overall votes that have been cast. It is also clear that the ANC therefore performed much lower than expected. In fact, the ANC has lost 2 or 3 of their controlled municipalities before the elections. They've just taken over one municipality with a hairbreadth, which is Sesekwa in Riversdal and Heidelberg, from the DA. In the other 2 small municipalities, they are a part of a coalition where they do not even form the majority party in the coalition. So it is a dismal performance, and they probably have a lot to explain on that basis. The EFF, on the other hand, did not perform very well. The few seats that they have obtained are not very relevant at all. The only single smaller party that did perform well was the AUF, which is Mr. Zwelinzima Vavi's supported United Forum Party in Bito, which means Plettenberg Bay and area surrounding it, where that small party now forms the kingpin to decide in coalition with either the DA or the ANC in order to control Bito municipality.
Thank you very much, our political analyst, Professor Fani Kluter. Wrapping things up for now here from the IEC Elections Results Centre in the Western Cape, where already in some areas like in Beaufort West, celebrations have already begun. But for now, it's back to you, to the IEC Rock in Tshwane.